Okay, it's excrubulent. Welcome to my redstone testing world. I've got a bit of a technical Minecrafty video for you today. Not the fun, funny, actiony sort of videos that I did last time, but that's coming, don't worry. But I felt like doing this today, and what you get is what I feel like doing. That's just how this channel is going to work. I've decided, and what on earth is this? I have no idea. My kid built it. It's basically a nothing grinder as far as I can tell. And over here we have a sugarcane farm. Well, it's not really a sugarcane farm. It's a very silly sugarcane farm. It's just massively over-engineered, instant harvesting sugarcane farm that just like, what on earth? Why would you build something like this? Well, if you were impatient and you read the title of the video, for instance, you might know that this is not a sugarcane farm. Dun dun dun! This is actually a sugarcane-powered clock. Dun dun dun! So this is a low latency sugarcane farm. And when I say latency, I'm not talking about server performance. Oh no, it's not too bad, but I don't really care about that. No, when I say low latency, I mean it is harvested and counted almost immediately, and it is counted to advance the clock, because this is a clock that is advanced by the harvesting of sugarcane. So yeah, this clock is a probabilistic clock, because we can expect certain random events to happen with a certain frequency, especially when we have a large enough sample size. It's not like one of those redstone clocks where it just ticks away at a very specific rate. It just counts. It just counts events that happen near enough to regularly. There we go, there was one of them. Near enough to regularly that we can just kind of rely on them to a certain extent to do something close enough, but not all that precise. If we added more modules to this, if we like went up or sideways or something, we could certainly increase the reliability and the accuracy of this thing, but it's not all that necessary. Seems to work pretty well from what I've seen. Why have I built a clock powered by random block ticks? Well, it's because of this. I have one of these amethyst farms in my survival world. It looks basically exactly like this, actually, because this is a copy of it. So this is Ilmango's Flying Machine Amethyst Farm. I'll leave a link to his tutorial about this in the description. And the problem is that this, in my survival world, is at least partially inside the spawn chunks. So according to Ilmango, you need a timer of 167 minutes to optimally harvest these amethyst blocks. And his design has a redstone-powered clock. Now, the problem with that is, if these are in the spawn chunks, then the redstone-powered clock will advance all the time because the spawn chunks are loaded all the time and are processing redstone all the time. But they're not growing crystals all the time. So the clock and the crystals will get out of sync. So the problem with that is, there are all these different growth stages with the amethyst, and if you harvest amethyst that is not fully grown, you get no crystals out of it. So if you harvest it prematurely, all that growth is lost. If you harvest it when it's fully grown, then you get a bunch of amethyst shards. So we can't be setting this off too frequently, which is the problem. So instead of running a redstone clock, I figured why not run a clock that is based on the same growth algorithm or the same growth behavior that grows the crystals. And one such item that I can measure pretty easily is sugarcane. I chose sugarcane partly because it's easy to make a farm that harvests it regularly, like harvests it the moment that it grows, just like this. Not too hard to do. The other reason that I use sugarcane is because in my survival world, I haven't yet bothered to make a sugarcane farm, and I needed some sugarcane. So, you know, two birds, one stone. Pretty simple design. Why have I gone with this slime block design? Seems kind of inefficient. Seems like it's pretty resource intensive. Well, this seems to be the only way to losslessly harvest the sugarcane. I've tried just basic pistons, and I've even just tried basic blocks. They don't seem to be lossless, whereas the slime blocks just pelt the sugarcane right across the other side and never drop it down here. See, sometimes with other designs, you'll get stuff landing right on the corner like that. And that's not cool. That's not what you need. So instead, this design always makes sure that the items wind up in the water stream. Part of the reason that I've done this so that they're always opposite one another is so that when they get pelted across, they hit the slime blocks on the opposite side and stop right at this line here and fall into the water. But yeah, I've tested this fairly extensively. It seems to be lossless. And, you know, to make a clock, I needed it to be lossless. I couldn't have it losing an indeterminate number of sugarcane every now and then. But yeah, basically the observers send a pulse up to here. When the observers extend and then retract, when they retract, they send a second pulse. But because the pulse extender is still running, this piston doesn't see the second pulse. So you don't get into an infinite loop where it just cycles in and out and in and out and in and out. I can go over the design of that later if you want. It's not all that complicated. It's basically just that. That's the design of the sugarcane part. So we take the output from that and we send it into this system. Now this is my redstone clock. This is the actual clock part of the clock. And it counts all of the items that come out of there. So it's pretty simple. It's all color-coded. Got the item processor, got the item counter, got a safety locking output thing. We've got the actual output signal. We've got a input locking system, and we've got the hopper slowdown circuit. So yeah, they all have a purpose. Anyone who's used to designing redstone will probably have figured out what's going on here, but I'll just go over it in broad strokes. We're not going to do a block-by-block tutorial because, frankly, that is a very difficult thing to do, I've discovered. So we've got the item processor here, basically just spits out items as they get sent through it. And every time it spits one out, it sends a pulse over here. And that pulse comes over here to the item counter. And anyone who knows anything about redstone will be able to tell you, oh, okay, I know what that is. That is your basic pulse divider. Basically, I've got 4 items in here, and each pulse sends one item from there to there, and when all the items go across, then the whole system resets and sends one pulse out the end. So basically, it takes 4 pulses and turns them into 1, or it could take any number of pulses. In my case, we're going to be doing 297 pulses. I'll explain why later. So pretty simple. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta-da! Very simple. And of course, the system has reset. And we'll just quickly demonstrate that over here. Put 4 items through. 2, 3, 4. Boom. And it gets set off. So here we have the processor pause signal. So basically, whenever the counter is resetting, it also sends a signal over here, which locks this hopper and stops items from going through so that it counts everything. It doesn't miss anything. And this is the hopper slowdown circuit, which basically unlocks this hopper every now and then and slows it down so that this system can react in time to actually catch any extra items that might be coming through at the same time as the last signal that came through. So let's just say we have 64 items in there and just 4 in there, and we go boom, 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 and now it's resetting. And whilst everything is getting transferred across there, you'll see nothing gets through. It all gets backed up here until the whole system resets, and then it'll start counting again. There we go. Okay, now we're going to have the system's going to send a signal out. Okay, now that's the output, and you can see that this output signal has been locked. So if we try to send another signal, it won't go through. That is the locking circuit. That's this part in yellow. So basically, whenever a signal comes through, and we'll just simulate a signal coming through, it goes pa-chunk like that. It goes through a monostable circuit, and this is another, well, not a monostable circuit, but this leaves this redstone block here, which locks the monostable circuit open and prevents any more signals from coming through. And it will not reset until a signal comes from there. So put a signal through, and it doesn't matter how many more signals we try to put through, nothing will go through. Reset, pa-chunk, and then that works. It sends a signal through properly. And just quickly, we'll just dump a couple items through here. 2, 3, 4, pa-chunk, like that. 2, 3, 4, and that one sets off, but it does not set this one off because the safety wasn't disengaged. There we go. Now, the reason we have this safety is because if we send a signal through this system and set off these flying machines, and then we send another signal through before they're finished operating, you could destroy the entire farm, and you could destroy also a lot of budding amethyst, which would be really bad. So basically, the signal gets sent through, starts the farm, and then when this farm is finally finished, another signal gets sent from these flying machines at the end back to here to reset the safety. So then it's impossible for us to set that off too often. Even if we just spam the input signal, it can't happen. Now, obviously, this clock is a long period clock. It goes for nearly 3 hours, so it shouldn't be sending multiple signals. But the reason I have this safety is so in case anything goes wrong when I'm testing this system, it doesn't end up destroying the farm. And also, we've got a output counter, which tells us how many signals have gone out, and we've also got a, what's this, the clock cycle counter, which tells us how many times the clock has cycled. I've reset that counter a few times, but it's just useful to have some debugging information so that you know how often things have happened. For instance, I think in my survival world, it's gone off 6 times. All right, now let's take a quick look at how this looks inside my survival world. It is nighttime. Actually, it shouldn't matter. Shouldn't matter that it's nighttime. Here we are. We have got an amethyst farm. This should look fairly familiar. It's been harvested relatively recently. So overnight I've had 3. Oh, there's another one. 2 left. 1 left. Oh my goodness, it's going to happen. This is what I'm looking for, to see this interlock system work. That's it, we're about to go. Okay, that's locked in place. And these are the machines going. Harvesting everything. Gonna get that one to go off. Alright, off they go. And now the third one's going to go off. Didn't really think about how to show this. When this third one goes... Oh dear. When that third one goes off, let's take a look in here. There's a redstone line here. And that redstone line will be activated by an observer. And that observer will reset the locking system. And I don't think we'll get to see it. Oh, no, we will. There, bam. Oh, so the locking system has deactivated, and this is still resetting. Oh, and that resetting finished about in the same time, just a bit faster. So now it's ready to go again. The lock has turned off, and the reset has happened, and now it's ready to send another thing. And it's already counted the 2 extra items that were released while that was all happening, because it kept them all in a cache. All right. That worked. Yeah, and 4 activations. Good. Good, yes. Good. It does actually harvest a decent amount, so it must be working. This is what has been harvested in those 4 activations. So it's about, it's a bit less than 5 stacks per harvest. This is from earlier when I was building it. This is actually what has been harvested by the clock directly. Okay, so how do I figure out how many items to count to get the right time? Well, it's actually a pretty simple calculation. You just multiply 3 numbers together. You just take the rate of items per plant per minute, then you multiply it by the number of plants, and multiply it by the time that you want to count in minutes, and you get a number of items. So the rate in this case is 1 item every 18 minutes per plant, which is actually 1/18 items per minute per plant. Multiplied by 32 plants, multiplied by 167 minutes, gives us approximately 297 items to count. And a quick educational aside, if you want to figure out if that's actually a reasonable calculation to be doing, you just do a dimensional analysis. So dimensional analysis is just like, what units are we counting? I'll just tuck that back in. What units are we counting? Well, we're counting items, we're counting minutes, and we're counting plants. Those are the 3 important dimensions here. So the rate is items per minute per plant. That's items divided by minutes divided by plants, multiplied by plants, multiplied by minutes. And so in that case, the plants and the minutes cancel out, and we're left with items. And that's exactly the information that we're looking for. So that sounds like this is actually the right calculation to be doing. And based on watching it overnight, it does seem to go off just slightly more often than every 3 hours, which is approximately right. So that's good. Yes, I could tick warp this, but but I haven't. And that's my excuse. I'm happy to make a block by block tutorial at some point of this, or if someone watching feels like they want to make one, go for it. I don't particularly care. I don't really believe in owning ideas anyway. I don't know if this is useful to literally anyone else in the world, but I think it's interesting. So this is my first technical Minecraft video of any kind. Please let me know what you thought of it. Was it clear, concise, and entertaining? That's basically what I was going for. Got any questions or anything that was a serious problem, or just nice comments too are good. Please let me know. I would love to hear your comments. All right, thank you very much. The next video is probably not going to be a Minecraft video at all. It's probably going to be something to do with racing or flying. I've been looking at Ultra Wings 2. Really loved Ultra Wings, so, Ultra Wings 2 maybe. I'm also making an iRacing video and a bunch of other space racing type stuff, and also some stuff that might have nothing at all to do with racing or Minecraft. We shall see. Bye-bye.